Good day, everybody. This is your coach, Klassik King, L here. Now, this is my first official video, my first official lesson, redefining myself as a coach, as a teacher, as somebody who wants to be able to give people more knowledge and wisdom, not only just on YouTube and on social media, but stepping more into my purpose, into my calling as a community leader. Look at myself as a servant leader. Okay, I lead by serving others. Okay, now this lesson that I'm going to be discussing is also very personal to myself, and it's my thoughts on evolution. Okay, now myself being a philosopher, I'm always constantly pondering the universe, life, death, everything that's going on around me, the ins, the outs. I'm always constantly also evolving. I know a lot of people that may know me or seen me and whatnot. I know I've changed my name many times. I wouldn't say many, but several times over the past few years. Okay. I've always been that type of person where I'm always constantly evolving. Okay. It's the natural process of evolution. Okay. Just like a tree, as a tree grows, it loses its old bark, it gains new bark. It drops its old leaves, gains new leaves. Just like a snake or different types of lizards, they shed their skin so that way they could keep growing. They outgrow their old shell. They shed that and they keep growing. They keep growing and growing. So just like myself, I keep moving. I keep growing. Okay. Now, a lot of people may have misconceptions of, let's say, like the snake. But the snake is actually, if you look across a lot of different religions and practices, the snake is actually a very wise reptile, creature, animal. I know in different texts, it's the other way around. You know, the snake has been taught to us as backbiting, malevolent people with bad intentions, people you can't trust. But also, like I said, the snake also brings forth wisdom. Okay, the snake, for instance, time isn't linear; it's cyclical, meaning it goes in cycles. Okay, it goes in cycles. It's the head of the snake holding on to its tail, and it comes all the way back around to 0 point. Okay, so in my development of my own evolution, I've done many different things in life. I have a trade underneath my belt, electrical trade, residential commercial electricity, telecommunications, professional, solar expert. But outside of that, because one aspect of myself, I love working with my hands. So that's just me. So that's why I got into those different things, because I love working with my hands. And also, I knew that I could make my own money doing those things. You know, everybody needs electricity. Everybody needs TV, phone, internet, security, you know. So those are things that even if I didn't have a job, that I could do on my own by myself, you know, and which I did. Okay. But outside of those things, I've also have a creative spark in me, which a lot of people throughout my life mainly seen it in my way of fashion. You know, I've always dressed how I wanted to dress, have my own, just have my own, you know, swag, my own flavor. You know, I never really did follow trends too much. I always just did my own thing. Um, but as I evolve in life, one of the greatest moments that I've been coming across these past several years of my life is growing closer and closer to my purpose. Now, I've always walked in my purpose. I always lived in my purpose. But sometimes we don't know our purpose until later on, or we don't know we're even actually already living our purpose. So me, naturally, I've always been a teacher. I've always been like a counselor. I've always been like a servant leader, somebody who loves doing for others because I get joy out of that. You know, me personally, I've never really needed much in life. Now I'm starting to rewire that thinking because I know that I do deserve as much as I give. I deserve to live peacefully. I deserve to live comfortably. So that is a negative thing in my life that I'm actually rewiring in my own self and stop telling myself that I don't need much. Yes, in the sense that always stay humble. I'm never going to do something that's outside of myself to gain any type of wealth, any type of fame, any type of power, because that's not me. But I also need to recognize that I cannot be content on some of the things that I do or some of the ways that I have in my life, because it makes me inadvertently sacrifice things that I really care about, you know. So one thing that I want to point out is that as I'm going on to this new journey, stepping fully into my purpose, my calling, and I think it's a divine calling, if you ask me. Even though, like I said, I've always lived it, but I'm stepping more into it. I'm owning it. Those of you who are intaking my content, who are learning something from what I have to say, gaining wisdom and knowledge of things that I may be shedding light on, one of the first things I want you to know, want everybody, want the world to know about me, is that I am not a perfect man. Just like the rest of this world isn't perfect. Okay? Now, with that being said, do not follow me. Stand beside me. So that way you could teach me, I could teach you, and we could lift each other up. Okay? I'm not this type of leader that wants a following. I'm not the type of leader that wants people to think that I'm their savior or I'm their what's the word? Their ultimate guide in life. There's many people like me that live to serve and to help other people. But the only true savior is yourself. I want you to know that. The only true savior is yourself. So don't follow anybody. Stand beside them. Gain knowledge. Gain wisdom from them. Make sure you're very careful from the knowledge and the things that you're taking in, though, because not everybody has good intentions, and not everybody with good intentions has the right knowledge. All right? So let me say that again. As I'm teaching and as you're learning, and if you're learning something new from me, always remember, don't follow me. Stand beside me. All right? So that way, if I stumble, you can help me up. And when you stumble, I can help you up. All right? But I can't see what's going on if you're standing behind me, if you're following me. At least if you're standing beside me, I can use my peripheral to see what's up. Just turn my head like this. Okay? And the same with you. At least if you're standing beside me, you can see when I may be having a bad day, and help me up. Just like I'm helping you or helping others, there's days that I may wake up and I may not be my full self, be my best self. That's natural. That's perfectly natural. And for those that know me or see me, and lift me up. Because we all need to recognize our leaders need to be appreciated too. We get exhausted. Like your pastor, whatever type of leader that you may follow or that you're under. Always ask them how they're doing. you know, because it's not easy always to have to be the teacher or always having to be that example, you know. So remember to ask your leaders, your teachers, your mentors. Ask them from time to time, how you feeling? How's life going for you? What can I do for you? You know? All right, so let's get into this. So once again, like I said, I'm a philosopher. These are my thoughts on evolution. These are some of my notes that I jot down on what I experienced in life and the knowledge and the wisdom that I've gained. This is not anything that I feel like is set in stone or like it's factual. Some stuff I do feel like, yeah, it's factual because there's other people that teach it, and if you actually do live it, you'll see for yourself that it works. But for the most part, this is just wisdom that I've come across that I've written down, and some of the philosophies that I've come to gain in my life. All right. So let's start this. Darwin's theory of evolution imposed organisms evolve through natural progression through mutations, okay, which can be implied as progress without intention, okay? So to use an analogy, or not necessarily an analogy, but to use an example, what is the first thing, the first chapter in the Bible speaks of creation, okay? God thought it, therefore he spoke it into existence, okay? He had intent. He put intent in everything that he created. It was intention, okay? Nothing left alone can grow, expand, increase, or change without the power of intention, okay? You could be gifted at something. If you don't work that gift, you will not evolve, okay? So the first one, evolution requires intent, okay? So I'm going to use an example in nature. Have you ever heard about like whales or fish beaching themselves? Okay, that is because they sense that there's something wrong with their environment. They sense their higher selves, okay? And they're trying to get out of that situation that they're in, okay? So they beach themselves to get out of that environment because they have a higher self that they have reached, okay? Now, the concept with them beaching themselves is also the concept of evolution, okay? If more and more whales or fish beach themselves, right? Over time, they may start to grow legs, okay? That's why I've seen this article or this post about how we as people need to stop pushing them whales back into the ocean because that's only stunting their evolution process, okay? If the whales are beaching themselves, or the whales are willing to go as far as that length to get out of their environment and try to evolve onto the land, yes, they're going to be a lot of them that may die off because, obviously they can't breathe in oxygen just like we breathe in oxygen, okay? And they may have to evolve over time to grow legs and to grow lungs or some type of internal mechanism that allows them to breathe air like we breathe in air, okay? So like I said, us people, us humans, pushing them back into the water thinking we're saving them is actually stunting their evolution process, okay? So think about this in our own terms, okay? Let's say your higher self is calling out to you, reaching you, and you want to be a better person than what you are. You want to go further than where you're at, okay? That requires you to evolve. Okay? It requires you to evolve, whether your actions, your way of thinking, your mindset, your emotions, your health. It requires us to evolve. But if there are people or forces that is pushing us back down into the water, it's hard for us to evolve. Every time that we come up, try to come onto the land, they throw us back up. They throw us back out into the water, and then we're back into that same situation, having to try to work our way back out onto the land, get back up again. Okay? That's why, out of all the time that has been passed on this earth, we as human beings, there are many that believe, and a lot of conspiracies behind it. If it wasn't a conspiracy, there's some truth behind it, right? There are malevolent forces, entities, and powers in place to keep us as humans from evolving into our higher selves, okay? From unlocking other abilities that are left dormant inside of us. It's the same way with the whales, okay? It's the same way with the whales. Now, this goes back to intention. We cannot evolve if we do not have intention behind wanting to be better, to wanting to do better, okay? No matter what's going on around us, we have to have intention, okay? And take control over ourselves, all right? Now let's keep on going. In order for us to reach levels, in order for us to reach new levels in life, no matter what the situation, circumstance, or past, we must be intentional in every way. Nothing can progress standing still, no matter how much time has gone by. Okay? So, time does not equate to evolution. Just because time passes does not mean that we're just going to naturally evolve. It does not work like that. We have to put in intention. We have to want to reach higher levels. We have to want to evolve. Okay? Let me use an analogy. Somebody can be naturally gifted, all right? Let's say, for instance, let's say I play an instrument, right? You could be naturally gifted at playing, let's say, the trumpet. You know what I mean? You just tooting and blowing. You know what I mean? Child prodigy. Okay? Just child prodigy. You're in the band and everything. All right? You was just doing your thing. Okay? Satchmo. All right? Now, let's say you're here, okay, with that instrument. Just naturally, you're here. And let's say there's another person with that same instrument. They're not as good. They know how to read the music or play the notes, but as far as really going off and being creative and, just blowing that thing, making their own music, they may not be there, okay? But you thinking that just because you're gifted, you're always going to be on top, and you don't nurture that gift, okay? You're going to stay right here, okay, at that level, okay? But the person that's right here, that puts in intent and being the best that they could be and learning that instrument fully, okay? As time passes on, they're going to keep moving forward, okay? They're going to keep moving forward. You're here. You're going to keep moving forward. They're going to keep moving forward as time goes on, okay? And then they're going to surpass that person that was naturally gifted. You know why? Because that person who was naturally gifted did not work their gift, did not put in intent on evolving. Even though they were naturally good, they thought they knew it all. They thought they already had it all. They thought they were at the top. They thought they were the epitome of the greatest. But the person who put in the work and had intent on evolving is going to blow right past that person, and that person with that gift is going to be like, damn, I thought I was good, you know? So time does not equate to evolution. If you do not put an intent to evolving your gift, to evolving your craft, or whatever field that you're in, whatever purpose that you're in, if you're not putting intent, you'll never grow in it. You know, you'll stay right where you are in that gift, in that not necessarily expertise, but you'll stay right uh, um, in that gift. You'll stay right in that level of playing. Okay. It's not to say that you'll drop a level, because if you're naturally gifted at something, you know, you're naturally gifted. Now, as time goes on, you may need a little bit of a jump start, you know, get yourself back into shape or, uh, you know, back into training. But the gift is always still going to be there, you know, unless there's some mental problem, health problem, or physical problem that stunts you from doing it. That's different. But the gift is always still going to be there. At least it's always something that you can always come back to. But you got to nurture it so that way it stays with you and that you're able to evolve it. Okay. Time will always continue to move forward. We must move with it or stay ahead of it. But staying behind will only be detrimental to ourselves. Okay? Now, that may not apply to every area in life. Like somebody can be intellectually ahead of people, can have a lot of knowledge and wisdom, but let's say they don't know how to let me use a good example. Somebody could be smart and wise, but let's say they don't want to, let's say, I would say drive a car, but that's kind of something that even if you don't want to drive a car, at least you need to know. But let's say, okay, watch TV. Okay, let's do that. That's a good example. Just because you don't watch TV does not make you less behind. Okay, does not put you behind time. Okay, just because you don't know who Kim Kardashian is or who Blase is or who Beyonce is or who that Jay-Z is, who Kanye is, or just because you don't know these people does not mean that you're living behind a rock or under a rock. There's certain things and certain aspects in life that the knowledge will not change anything about our lives. You know, like I'm sure there's a lot of people that I don't even know exist. It's not affecting my life because I don't know they exist. You know, now, give or take, you know what I'm saying? Because there may be some people that have knowledge that if I did know about them, it could help me, you know, but because I don't know them, it's not affecting me. Because I don't know what happened on Game of Thrones. Never watched Game of Thrones. That's not affecting my life. Just because I don't know what went on in Game of Thrones or what it's about. Okay? So there's certain things that just because you don't keep up with doesn't necessarily put you behind. But there are some important aspects in life that we do need to keep up on and do need to stay up to date with. Okay? So we got to have good judgment and discernment with that knowledge. All right? We don't have to be famous or millionaires or some big shot to keep moving forward. Living our best selves, whatever that means to us, not anyone else's standards, is the most important. Okay? So, next one. Live for yourself, your higher self. A lot of people are living life because of what their parents want them to be. A lot of people are living life because what they thought they were going to be when they were kids. A lot of people are living their life because they think, oh, need to do this because it's life. I don't have a choice. Nah, we always have a choice. Now, granted, there's going to be things that we have to do that we may not want to do. There's always going to be things like that, but at the end of the day, we should always be living a life, a purpose that is purposeful for us, not living for our parents, not living for our children, We need to be happy first at our best selves and what we're doing in life. Okay? That is very important. Okay? Like I mentioned in the beginning, I've been living my purpose my whole entire life. And didn't realize it until maybe several years ago. And now I'm just really starting to really step more into it. Okay? That some people are already living their purpose, but they just don't see it as that, because they might have big expectations, they might have big goals, they might have fancy dreams and this and that. I say, listen, at the end of the day, we need to stay humble. All right, slow and steady wins the race. A lot of people are moving fast to go nowhere, just to realize, damn, I went the wrong way. So always remember, living for yourself, what makes us happy, what makes you happy. And if that's working at McDonald's, hey, if you're happy doing that, then do that. Don't live your life by anybody else's standards. Okay? Because there's millionaires. There's millionaires. Okay? That will stay in hell. And there's people with less than a penny in their name that's going to reach heaven. So nothing in this world we could take with us. The only thing we could take is everything that we learned. That is it. We can't take nothing. We can't take nobody. The only thing that we could take when we leave this earth is our knowledge. All right? Keep learning and acquiring wisdom and knowledge, no matter your financial status. Okay? Status should not matter. Okay? Status should not matter. I don't care how much you have in your name. I don't care how big you are, how small you are, how much money you have, how much money you don't have. I don't care how much material gain you have in life. I don't care who you know, who you don't know. I don't care how smart you are. I don't care how illiterate you are. Okay? Your status should not stop you from gaining more wisdom and from gaining more knowledge. All right? Whether that's of yourself or gaining more knowledge of your gifts and your talents and your purpose, finding your true purpose in life. Okay? No matter what stage you are in life, no matter what situation, always, always, always seek wisdom, always seek knowledge. All right? Expand your mind to all possibilities. Anything you can think of, the thought has already been thought of and is possible. Never limit your beliefs to any one system, okay? So, keep an open mind, but have wisdom with discernment and judgment with that knowledge that you're getting, whether it be from people, whether you're getting it from a book even. Because like I said, there's people that can have good intentions but the wrong knowledge, spreading around the wrong news, just because they heard it on the internet or they heard it from somebody else that they deem trustworthy, that they keep parroting that information, All right. So always keep an open mind and never believe that your way of thinking, your way of living is the ultimate form of living, is the best way to live, is the best way to think, is the best way to be. All right? We got to explore everything. Okay? Never limit yourself. Because as for me, I learn from everything. I can learn from a child. I can learn from watching animals. I can learn from nature. I can learn from paint drying. There's A lesson is to be learned in everything. This whole entire world is school. This whole entire world is school. This whole entire life is school. So make sure you see lessons in every aspect of life, from the smallest things to the biggest things. Okay? Now, we all have systems that may work for our individual selves, but never limit your learning to that one system. So, like I said, me, I like to learn a lot, a little about a lot, you know. And one thing, the biggest thing I'm thinking about this life is religion, you know. So you can study all the religions, right, to gain understanding, because it's all fragmented, you know. All the knowledge when it comes down to religion is all fragmented into these different religions. Okay, everybody has their own way of what suits their lifestyle, what suits their understanding of getting to their higher self. Okay, they all pretty much teach the same thing, just different ways, different concepts, but it all talks about your higher self. All talks about a moral compass. All talks about sacrifices that we need to make with our lower selves. So Christianity may work for you, Islam may work for somebody else, Buddhism may work for somebody else, Taoism may work for somebody else. It's all fragmented, you know. But when you gain an understanding of it all, you kind of get it may not be a clear view of the puzzle, but you know, things starting to make a little bit more of a sense when you study all these different religions, okay? And actually get an understanding of the meanings behind the religion, the history behind the religion, and why they practice what they practice, and where those practices came from, okay, and what those practices mean as far as spirituality. Because a lot of everything in this world is pretty much spiritual. Just a lot of people just don't see it as that, okay, unless it's in a religious sense. But even outside of religion, spirituality is always taking place. We can learn from all things no matter how much knowledge we gained. The power of intention is powerful. And when we truly put our minds and hearts to it, it becomes an even greater force. All right. That leads me to come to, I believe that meditation is good for evolution. How can you evolve if you don't know yourself? How can you evolve if you don't ponder on the things that you lack as far as internally, not externally? But how can you grow if you're not conscious of you living in your lower self? If you're not conscious that there's a higher self trying to reach out to you. That's why meditation is good. It allows you to go in, allows you to quiet all the noise, allows you to reset your body, reset your mind, reset your emotions, so that way you can actually take time, you can think, okay? You can actually think. Because there's a lot of distractions out here. There's a lot of noise going out here, okay? Even when your TVs are off, it still is producing a frequency that you can't necessarily pick up, okay? There's a lot of different frequencies that are being emitted from our electronics and technical devices that we may not be able to audibly hear, okay? But our senses are still being affected from those things, okay? So meditation, getting back into nature, as a lot of people, you see a lot of people now talking about getting back into nature. And I would be a strong advocate on that, because it takes you out from all this noise that you can't even hear, this silent noise that you can't hear. Go getting back into nature, reconnecting with the trees, the grass, the flowers, and everything. I know it may sound hippie-ish, but it's very, very healthy, man. It's very healthy. You know, just try it. If you're somebody that has never done this type of work before in your life, going into nature and, you know, especially, you know, the melanated community, black and brown community. Um, some of us, especially in the inner cities, don't get out too much out into nature unless it's the neighborhood park or something. You know, but even with that, you're still in the city. You know, so try to be intentional, taking trips to get away from the inner city. Okay, get out to where it's nice and quiet, nothing but trees. Take more walks on trails. Um, and then just be able to cultivate that peace from within. Okay. The universe responds to us in a positive way when we do these things as far as meditation. Okay. When we become intentional in our evolution. Okay. They call it the Akashic records. That everything that we can ever think of is already out in the universe. Everything that was ever going to be or can be is already out there. Okay. We just have to open up our minds and ourselves to be able to receive that knowledge. Okay. That's why some of the greatest minds like Nikola Tesla and Einstein were beautiful people, because their minds were just so open. Okay. And they allowed that information to flow through them. Like there's theories Tesla and Einstein came up with that people can't understand how they came up with these things back in their time with less technology than we have today. There's people with technology today, they can't even come up with them same equations or them same theories. Something miraculous had to happen for them to be able to receive that wisdom. They opened up their mind to the universe, and the universe saw them, and responded back to them with this knowledge. Okay? Nothing, that leads me to the last thing. Nothing worth having comes easy. Put in the work to truly enjoy the spoils of your labor. Okay? Put in the work, put in the work. Put in the work. I know it's not easy, man. I know it's not easy. This life is about work. We need to cultivate what we want to be in our lives. We must cultivate our environment. We must cultivate our peace. It's always some form of work that we need to put into effect and into place and into action. Okay, anything that comes easy is not worth it. It's not worth it. Anything that comes from the Most High, okay, can last a lifetime. And it's things that come from malevolent forces or the devil. You could be rich at the beginning. You could be a millionaire at the beginning of the year, and by the summertime, you could be broke. Easy come, easy go. Okay, especially if you didn't put in the work to get there. Okay, so do not be afraid to put in the work. I know it can be tough. But the reward is far greater if you put your head down and you put in the work. If you put in the work. Like, just put in the work. Okay, it's not easy, especially in today's times. There's a lot of mental health issues. There's a lot of physical health, emotional health, financial instability. It takes people's minds off of being able to actually just calm down and just think. There's so much going on in a lot of people's heads and a lot of people's lives where we just need to slow down, think, and reevaluate, restructure, and redefine our lives. Okay? And like I said, I believe it's by design. Society does not breed. Or at least in some countries, I think in America, it may be the land of the free. You could be the greatest you want to be, and we have liberties that we may not have in other countries, but at the same time, there's still a lot of distractions. There's a lot of distractions. just a lot of community unsubtleness. Okay, there's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of anger going on. Okay, there's a lot of unhealthy aspects to our nation that we drastically need to change. Okay, and it starts with everybody like myself who wants to teach people how to live a more positive life. And even myself, even as I'm teaching you, I'm teaching myself. Okay, because even for myself, I've had to go through my own experiences. I've had to go through my valley. If I didn't come through my valley, I would have never really truly found my ultimate purpose. You know, when we're up here and we're living life, everything is going well, and we're just happy and just living life. It's not until we get knocked down that we realize that everything that we thought we were doing, the happiness that we thought we had, wasn't true happiness. It wasn't real happiness. Okay? It just wasn't real happiness. Okay? And one other thing that I want to put out in life is that sometimes things have to fall apart. Sometimes things have to be broken to be able to be put back together and come back whole again in a much better light. Like, for instance, relationships. You know, sometimes relationships have to fail, or it has to fall apart completely. It has to be at its worst, just for those two people to come back at a later time, and it be the most beautiful thing in the world. You know, and I think a lot of couples can attest to that. That the greatest relationships had to be put through the fire. You know, no matter who was right and who was wrong, some of the greatest, the most fulfilling relationships have gone through, have had to get over that mountain. Okay, had to get over that mountain, or if it's not a mountain, if you look at a mountain as being on top, had to go through that valley, their lowest point, just for them to come back and be like, you know what, I don't want nobody else in this world. I know we haven't seen each other in a while. I know we went through what we went through, but I've learned a lesson and I'm ready to move on. I really want to fix everything that I need to fix with you, because I put in the work in that I needed for myself. And I'm ready to put my head down and truly have a fulfilling relationship, a fulfilling marriage for the rest of our lives together. Sometimes it takes for that to happen, for people to truly value relationships, for people to truly understand what love is. You know, sometimes things, like I said, have to fall apart. You know, I know a lot of people who, you know, there's many successful people, but it's always a story how they had to reach the bottom, how they had to get to the bottom of the lowest of their life that they've ever been, just to get back up and be built even stronger than what they were when they went in. Okay, you know, you may have went through up one mountain feeling high. You know, then you come back even further than that mountain that you went up. Come down low. But I guarantee you, the lower that you go, woo, the bigger the climb, baby. The bigger the climb. When you get back up to that mountain and you look back at that valley, you're gonna be so proud that you put in the work. And you didn't call in for a helicopter. You know what I mean? That you didn't call in for that helicopter to come take you out of that valley and put you up at the top of the mountain. No. You know what I mean? You can see all these people taking helicopters up there. You know what I mean? But as easy as they went up, they're going to fall. Put in the work to get up that mountain. Put in the work to get up that mountain. Put in the work to get up that mountain. And allow other people to help you get up that mountain. Because some people are going through mountains of their own. You know? And they can help. Y'all can help each other. You know? You pull me up, I go a little further ahead. I go down, pull you up. You go a little further ahead, pull me up. You know what I'm saying? And we do it together. We do it as a community. You know, we got to stop out of this thinking that we need to do everything by ourselves. Everybody wants, you know, selfish way of thinking, things that they want for their lives, you know, and not think about how the community can grow, how the community can elevate, and we all live in a much better environment. But that's a lesson for another day. So let's go over this again. Evolution requires intent. You must put in the intention to want to do better, to reach higher levels, to evolve. Time does not equate to evolution. Just because you're good at something, just because you're naturally good at something, or have a gift for something, does not mean that you're always going to be good at that thing. You got to keep working that gift to evolve it. Just because time goes by does not mean that you're naturally going to get better, okay? Live for yourself, or your higher self, okay? We have two wolves, a good wolf, a bad wolf, you know, a positive side, a negative side. And the one that you listen to most, or the one that you feed the most, is going to be the voice that's going to be the loudest. Okay, that's not to say that if you feed the good side, that your bad side is not going to be tugging at you, because it's always going to be that tug of war. That's the duality of the universe. You can't have the good without the bad. You can't have the bad without the good. Okay. Status should not matter. No matter where you are in your life, no matter what circumstance or situation that you're in, always seek knowledge and wisdom. It doesn't matter where you are. Keep an open mind, but have wisdom with discernment. Okay. Always seek knowledge, always seek wisdom, but have good judgment where that knowledge is coming from. Have good discernment on what you're allowing to come into your mind, because not all things that look good are good for you. Okay. Meditation is good for evolution. Take time out for yourselves to get away from family, to get away from the city, to get away from all the noise, so that way you can sit, you can think, you can breathe. Okay. Breath work is also good with meditation. You can actually go deeper within yourself, okay, and start truly pulling out things of yourself that you didn't even know were there, okay? And number one thing, nothing in life comes easy. Put in the work, put in the work, put in the work. So as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, those of you that like my content, those of you that are taking in this knowledge and this wisdom and my teachings, please understand that I am not a perfect man. I will never be perfect, okay? As there's nothing that's perfect in this world, okay? But with that being said, do not follow me. Stand beside me, okay? So that way you teach me, I teach you, and we can lift each other up, okay? But if you're following me, I can't see what's going on behind me, okay? If you have anything to say against or with anything that I've taught about as far as evolution and self-progression, please leave a comment. Let's start a dialogue, okay? Please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video to anybody that may need this video. I do this because I love it. I love it. This is my ultimate purpose in life, and this is what I want to do, is to teach, serve, and to coach other people and the community, so that way we may be lifted up together, okay? Like I said, we need to stop this thing of everybody trying to do things on their own. Life don't got to be like that at all, okay? We weren't meant to be individuals. We were meant to be, we're naturally tribalistic people, right? We naturally gravitate towards one group versus the other, okay? Let's start putting our heads together so that way we can actually elevate further and further and further, okay? I appreciate you watching this video. Once again, if you had anything positive to get out of it, leave a comment for me, all right? I'll catch you later.